All right, folks, good morning. Let's get airborne with our weekly debrief this Thursday morning at 10 a.m. The reason you weren't hearing any audio before 10 a.m. is because you can't read. Most of the emails that I saw go out this morning and reminder emails and the welcome aboard video says we start at 10 a.m. for the weekly debrief. So let's pay attention. The 10 a.m. debrief starts at 10 a.m. so, uh, and we'll talk about some things here. We have a lot to talk about. I'm adding another buy indicator to my 4, so we're going to have 6 potential buy indicators as to what's going forward. And we'll talk about the jobless numbers and the unemployment and stuff like that. Let me start. Well, let me just add the buy indicator now. Where was my slides? I have to go right at 11 o'clock, folks, because I have another webinar to give, go over Trader Central something. I forgot I volunteered to do all this stuff, and I really don't want to be doing it because they should have listened to us a month, 2 months ago. Buy with both hands. Here's the new one. The curve flattens in New York City. Write that one down. And you guys should all know the other ones. Contain, vaccine, travel ban to China lifted, travel ban to Europe lifted. These will all be big updates in the markets. But the curve flattens. Let me be very, very brutal. New Orleans is a hot spot right now. Miami, Jim Cramer just said, there's a ton of people driving out of New York City for Florida. Freaking great. I got my new Smithfield Armory. I got a new 9mm Bearcat yesterday. Susie and Matthew went and picked up. This is fantastic. So we have people leaving hotspots to go create other hotspots. It's a disgrace. Anyway, but it seems like all we give a shit about is New York City. So when Governor Cuomo comes on and says, it looks like the curve's flattening. Have you seen the curve, by the way? We are on the steepest climb. We're beating Italy and Spain with the initial climb. Where'd it go? I don't know where it is. Anyway, we're beating those two countries, folks, which is bad. But here's the deal. I've told you we're going to get COVID fatigue. We're going to get fatigue where it's just people enough. Okay, New York's out of it. It's going to roll across the country, folks, or actually we're going to get squeezed, right? We're going to get squeezed. New York, Seattle, and everybody else gets infected throughout the country. But at the end of the day, the market really doesn't care. The market cares about the market and not really human beings. And that's welcome to Wall Street 101, folks. So yeah, and people are fleeing New York City for the Hamptons and this. They're getting out of there, folks. This is absolute insanity. But I'm going to add that buy signal. Once you hear Governor Cuomo do the whole, yay, our curve is, the day is flattened. I covered yesterday what that curve looks like. It looks like April 13th. They're supposed to peak. And yeah, Karen, I'm hearing that already. I'm already hearing dudes that have COVID fatigue. I'm like, this hasn't even started. The morgues in New York are just maybe getting around capacity right now. I heard that the Military Mortuary Affairs Office is getting ready to be deployed. This hasn't even started, guys, and people are already saying it's over with. So let me be very, very clear. If you haven't listened to me for the past couple of days, you have to listen to me. If you are new to this, you absolutely, positively should do nothing. Been up since 5 a.m. I was on 2 calls. The opening call, the guys trading the futures were clueless. They were speechless. But listen to me. And I was telling my afterburner traders this last night. I said, hey, guys, be careful for a rally at the open because I'm hearing whisper numbers of about 5 million. There was 4 to Goldman Sachs and people like that were running around last night with numbers like it's going to be 5 million, 5 million, 5 million. Why? Because they're long. And when it was 3.2 million, my God almighty, folks, this is America. We just got a print of 3.2 million. The stock market goes up. So I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, do not do anything if you don't know what you're doing. You're going to blow out and you're going to lose all of your money. This, ladies and gentlemen, was easy to make millionaires. It ain't going to be a V. It ain't going to be a U. It's going to be a W, folks, a bunch of W's. We'll get into the unemployment numbers, folks. That's exactly right. Guess what, man? They're people couldn't even file. There were so many people. The state unemployment sites were down. So yeah, I'm not talking trades, guys. Not right now. I'm day trading right now, which I don't want to do. I hate it. I got calls that are up $2,000 right now, puts that are down a little bit for the day, and this is what's going to happen. It's the same thing that's going to happen yesterday. You're telling me that the market goes up to 700 points on the Dow with a jobless numbers that we've never seen in our history? This is called bizarro market, and this is trading. This is not investing, and you're going to get your ass handed to you. Do not do any of this stuff. Okay. Yeah, I saw that. The Cheesecake Factory just came out and said, yeah, we're not going to pay rent. April 1st, folks, is going to be the worst April Fools ever. So I'm giving you, I'm the commanding officer of this squadron, of this training squadron, and I'm telling you, I would not be flying right now if I were new. If I just checked into this squadron, I'd be burying my face in the books, I'd be burying my face in the Full Throttle videos, and I'd be sitting here waiting for what, Wiz? That. This will be easy money. That was easy money. This is going to be blue collar. And if you just showed up and you don't know what you're doing, you're going to blow out. I guarantee you. You can write down the date and time. I'm warning you about this. I've said this a bunch of times this week. We're going to have these up and down days like this. We'll talk about the stimulus and everything like that. I'm hearing from my buddies in suits and airlines. They're like, dude, as soon as he signs the stimulus, I'm getting ready to fire an email that says, we're all done. Right? Good. All right, Angela, so glad you're saying all of this. Yeah, I'm going to say it again. Do not do anything. Now, with the afterburner guys, I'm trying to say, I'm probably losing money on some trades right now that I already should have gotten out of. This is day trading. I hate it. This is not Top Gun options. But this is the market we have, not the one we want. Most of you should be in deep cover getting smart. If you're shadow trading me, you're going to blow out. Period. We're sitting on a cushion at Top Gun options from January 1st of $2.1 million. And now it's down like this morning to 1.9. But if you got in right now and play some of these bearish trades, I'm getting my ass kicked in a Boeing trade. That was a coin flip. We talked about the potential threat. The people at Boeing don't even know what they're getting in the bill, but the stock's up. This is speculation. I hate speculating. Up until 2 months ago, I think I can count on one hand the number of times I just bought calls or just bought puts at Top Gun options. Extremely rare. Excuse me. That's the only thing we've actually been doing lately. So there is absolutely, yeah, it's momentum right now, folks. It's Boeing. It's a momentum trade. There's no rationality in this. So look at this. These calls I bought at the open are up $4,000 right now. Where's the puts I bought? The 25, 40, whatever. They're down $4,000. So throughout the day, as this whipsaws around here, I'm going to be getting in and out of these things. Bought the puts right here, bought some calls right here, and now this is turning right now, so I'm going to get out of those. Well, you know what? No, I'm not. I can't. I'm not going to be one of those guys that says, do as I say, not as I do. I'm going to let those fly around here. Exactly. People are like, I've never in the time I've been here really seen you buy straight puts or calls. This is not a spread environment, folks. When you get these violent movements like this, you can't be trading spreads. You're going to get blown out of them, like I did on Boeing. And that's the most important pronoun, and I use at Top Gun options. I made a mistake to get into a bearish Boeing trade. Using my commit criteria, they were solid. And then it got blown through. It blew through my eject point, folks. There are times when you're flying along in your F-18, bam, missile, you're dead. That's part of trading, man. If it was a gentle climb, probably would have ejected out of that trade. So anyway, so let's get back to kind of a strategic brief, and then we'll go and talk some tactics. Paul Tudor Jones, folks, it really is. Yeah, sorry, the screen was frozen. Here's what I did. At the open, when this thing gapped up right about here, I bought puts down here, right here, and it skimmed along here. Then I bought some calls right here. So they're having a battle right now. Okay, I should have gotten out of the calls already that were making money. I am going to. $5,500, closing them. Boom. Now the market's rolling over, and probably won't get filled there. So there's $5,000. I hate this. It sucks. But here, and let me tell you again. So I'll take the 5 or the 6. Holy shit. Hang on. I don't want to duplicate orders there. But guys right now are having to do this. Hedge fund managers who don't trade, they hate trading, kind of like they're like, oh my God, I'm getting my ass handed to me. I have to day trade here. Mark, exactly. I'll say that again. I said this in the full throttle training the other night. I would not be trading spreads in this environment. You're going to get blown out. I take responsibility for me putting on a bad Boeing trade. That's it. All right. So let me try and take some profit in those real quick. Oh man, they were up 5,600. Because now we're rolling. I swear I'm going to get back to my brief, but I'll talk to the Afterburner guys. I might do a webinar tomorrow for the Afterburner folks about doing this, but this is not for the masses. Absolutely not. You're going to blow out. This is not for, I know what I'm doing, and I kind of am a little rusty. I'll talk about EWJ and EWZ shortly. We're not at tactics yet. I'm showing you that this is unfortunately what's having to go on here. All right, here we go. Yeah, Eli, 70,000 employees at Boeing laid off and the stock goes up. Well, actually, to be honest with you, Eli, when I hear that, I would buy the stock. Guess why? This is a Gordon Gekko moment. I'm going to shit can half these employees, load it up with debt, and turn it. Go watch Wall Street during your lockdown. That's beautiful. That's awful for me to say. I flew a Boeing product as Gordon Gekko. I think that's fantastic. They're cutting jobs at Boeing. Buy the stock. So that actually makes sense to me. All right, let's go. A lot to cover and short period of time. I'm going to ripple through this stuff. An Olympic disappointment. The Tokyo Games have been postponed to 2021. Shinzo Abe came around to what I said was going to happen 2 months ago. Tremendous disappointment. The Tokyo Organizing Committee estimates the delay will add 300 billion yen, 2.7 billion in extra costs. I know guys that are in a lot of trouble right now because they're Olympics traders. Every time that they sit there, man, and they have hedges out, they have properties out. Rio, this, that, those 4 cities are in the finalists. You want to talk about insider trading? There isn't any insider trading laws around the Olympic Committee. They're all disgusting people, by the way. They all get paid off. If you don't think that some people that I know maybe get tipped, or hey, Olympic Committee member from Greece who is voting today on where it's going to be, did you leave this briefcase full of cash on the cafe table, or did I? I don't know whose it is. I'm going to the bathroom. Text, it's going to be Tokyo. They go to the cities and they buy up as much real estate as they can. I'm telling you, man, I talked to a guy, I haven't talked to him in a couple of days because I'm not even going to joke about it. I got to check in on him. He's getting wiped out. So we'll talk EWJ in a couple of minutes, the actual position. But at the end of the day, folks, looking at these numbers, it should do this. So remember, if your commit criteria, and one of the additions to your commit criteria needs to be momentum. I think that's it is. It's in the full throttle training. I think I cover that. Your commit criteria, your 3 to 5 sentences as to why you got in a trade. If one of those has to be momentum, because your commit criteria, the sentences could sound good, and then all of a sudden, dude, it's just taken off. That absolutely has to be part of your commit criteria. I want to make sure that's in the training. I've said it before. I know for a fact I've said it because of market conditions like this. Your commit criteria can feel pretty damn still solid, and the thing be doing that. Remember how short squeezes work. This thing's going to go down. Somebody big comes in and says, I'm going to buy a little bit of it. And the shorts get screwed. They have to buy, and the thing goes up. I've been there when I haven't done this. I've seen it done, man. The people firing. I know a lot of dudes over at Brand X are short right now. Oh, really? Let's go all in and buy it. Holy crap, it just went up a tick. And there it goes. They got to get out, and now we're all even more rich. Welcome to Wall Street, man. It's insane. It's absolutely very, very, very cool, but it's insane. Brazil, Bolsonaro. This is a cold. You guys are gross. Whatever. Bolsonaro. I'm not doing anything about this. Get back to work. You want to talk civil unrest? Here's civil unrest. The favelas, in the gangs that run favelas, are imposing curfews to stop the spread of disease of the rich. Oh, man. Taken right out of the commie playbook, man. Why are they calling it the disease of the rich? Because they're saying all the rich people in Brazil who were out partying in Europe and the United States and Miami brought this home. You want to talk about social unrest? These gangs rise to power by saying, hey, man, all the rich people in Brazil are the reason you're sick and dying, not us. We're taking care of you in this favela. We protect you. The army's bad. The cops are dirty. Holy shit. You wouldn't, my days are packed, and I have another frequency of like a Brazil thread. This is nuts in Brazil, folks. Absolutely. It's at risk of collapse. The health minister the other day warned that Rio's public health system was at risk of collapse. Does anybody think it's going to get better? Raise your hand. If you can always take the other side of a trade, folks. Wiz, I think all of that's bullshit, and I'm going to buy EWZ. Knock yourself out. The best part about being an options trader is you can sit here and listen to my brief and go, noted, I think that's bullshit. Great. Take the other side of the trade. I'll buy this, you can sell that. And let's have a nice debrief someday in person over a nice bottle of 1942. Speaking of Brazil, but Latin America, coronavirus is advancing on poor nations and the prognosis is troubling. Anybody see Bolsonaro ordering hospital ships to be deployed to Rio or Recife? They don't have any. Anybody seeing private business in Venezuela stepping up to go from making electric cars to ventilators? They don't have that. So Latin America is going to get destroyed in this. Now, I got a report from a private wealth buddy. Let me kind of give you the cliff notes of it. Let me see if I have any more international stuff. I do. Hold on. I'll get operational. I'll tell you this because I'm like, holy crap, man. I should have thought of that. So I just badmouthed Brazil and emerging nations and they're going to get destroyed. Hold that thought. Did everybody know that earlier in the week, 21 million cell phone users in China went offline? I'm going to let that sink in as I try and manage my SPX position. I want that to sink in, folks. Did I get out of this yet? There you go. $8,500. Why am I not getting $8,500 on those calls? All right. Here we go. Beijing authorities they even announced this, which means it's probably 42 million. The Chinese regime requires all Chinese to use their cell phones to generate a health code. This sounds like 1984, folks. I'm going to bottom line this for you here. How do I know all this shit is worse and China's a shit show? One of the guys I fly an L-39 with, he does an air show performance here in the United States. Great air show with the L-39. He has one in China, and he did air shows in China, and now he's got a pilot. Not anymore, but he had a dude. I think it was an Italian pilot flying his L-39 around the air show circuit in China. He's like, let me give you a quick little fun story here. There's no maps in China of airports. They don't put the airports on a map for strategery. Like he had to fly, when he'd fly from one airport to another, they just gave him a lat long. It's not on a map. He's like, I've almost died 6 times flying around China. But to get from one airport to another, there ain't no flight plans, folks. He doesn't call the FAA or log in online and file his flight plan. So, and it's amazing that he was able to pull off what he pulled off. A great dude, JetBlue captain, really, really great guy, former enlisted Marine. And he's like, dude, I have heavies in China. That's the only reason I got around was because people would say, no, let me talk to your boss. No, let me talk to your boss. He's like, I know very, very senior guys in China because it had to get approved at the senior level. And he's like, they're talking on the kind of the back radio as classified as they can. that it's devastating. The 21 million people disappeared in China. I ain't saying they're dead. I ain't saying they're sick. I'm just saying he's saying a lot of stuff, and he said take it with a grain of salt, dude. But these high-ranking people that allowed me it was like a national secret to get the lat long of the next airport he was flying to do an air show. I'm like, holy shit. He's like, yeah, dude, it's nuts over there. So I almost died 6 times. Some guy wrote the digit wrong, like 9 was supposed to be a 6, and he's like, I'm at Min Fuel looking for an airport. He almost had to 6 times, he said he almost had to bail out of his airplane. I heard their excuse that it's 5G and we're upgrading, all sorts of bullshit. Of course they're cutting people off. If you weren't here 2 months ago, you didn't see the videos that escaped out of China. I did. Your fellow squadron mates also saw it of burning bodies and people dropping dead in the street and people getting dragged from their homes and thrown into trucks. China's progress against coronavirus this is the Wall Street Journal of America, folks, used draconian tactics not deployed in the West. We have Andrew Cuomo saying, hey, we should self-quarantine. We have DeSantis in Florida. If you come from New York or New Jersey, you're not allowed into the state by an airplane. But if you do land here, can you self-quarantine for 14 days? You use the word self and American, and we're all dead. Americans are selfish, and they're a disgrace right now. I posted on Facebook last night a dude on TikTok. My daughter's on it like all day. This guy was licking toilets in California. He's now infected, and I think he's in the ICU and dying. Self-cleaning oven. Life is a self-cleaning oven. The kids in Kentucky partying. We have a COVID party. Screw you, authority. 3 of them are infected now. It was 1 yesterday. We're not taking the draconian tactics. The airline buddies I talked to that are in executive management, the rumor is, we get the money, we close down. We'll talk about the airlines in a second, and it's not going to go over well with America. We're going to have airline executives still making a couple $1 million on your money. Oh, and a quick reminder, folks, the money that you're about to get back from the government that you give to them in taxes is taxable. You can't make this shit up. I'm getting relief from the government, which I gave them in the beginning, and they're going to take taxes out of it. You can't even make this shit up. It's retarded. Senator Cotton, China unleashed this plague on the world. Senator Cotton and I were flying formation 2.5 months ago, telling the world the truth. I, for the love of God and all things holy, cannot figure out why Donald J. Trump hasn't gotten up on a freaking podium and said, China, the 1.3 trillion dollars in debt that you allegedly own from us is gone. And I'm sending you a bill for 1 trillion more. I can't stand it. What a disgrace. Yeah, good job on those calls, guys, if you're still in them. I take the $9,000 right now and run. I don't understand this. There's a day of reckoning coming for China. When the hell is it going to be? It should have already happened. The president looking like a teenager. I know you are, but what am I doing the whole China? It's China. It came from China. You look unhinged, Mr. President. Release the intelligence. Still furious with the guy. 2 years ago, I got all the FISA warrants. I know everything the Democrats did in these dirty FBI agents. Release it. He was sitting on that as a break glass in case of emergency. So let me get this straight, Chief Law Enforcement Officer of this country. You know that there was law breaking in this whole shit, and you're sitting on it for potential political break glass in case of emergency? That's a disgrace. He's sitting on intelligence right now that he knows that China did this. Maybe on accident? I don't know, man. A day of reckoning's coming. When? Right now, ladies and gentlemen, I think this country needs a little bit of hope, but it also needs a boogeyman. And he's kissing Xi Jinping's ass still. Hong Kong, Chinese overlords, get back to work now. Okay, cough, cough, and we're all sick again. This rolling plan that Trump has for this country makes no sense to me. It's not going to work. I've nailed every prediction for the past 2 months, and I'm going to nail this one. Can somebody explain to me why this country believes we're not going to be like China, South Korea, Japan, France, Italy? Italy's a complete. So we're happy now that instead of 1,000 deaths yesterday or 2,000, they only had 999. My God, people, look at the numbers. Look at a number. What if the number was you or your mom? People are numbers, folks. That's why I'm going Gordon Gekko and adding a buy signal as when New York hits its peak. The first day New York reports a downtick from their peak, buy this market with both hands. And if you don't want to lose money between now and then, you're not doing anything but learning. You should have a paper trading account, and you should be paper trading if you want to maybe gamble. You would be gambling right now if you are getting in this market. I'm telling you right now, that's why I'm hesitant. As an F-18 instructor in the squadron, I'd be like, this is what the manual says. Boom, here's how I do this and execute that. Here's how Uncle Wiz does it. So I don't want to be that do as I say, not as I do guy. I can't stand hypocrites. But you have to trade the market you have, not the one you want. But for some of you, you should be flying a Cessna right now, and right now it's Joint Strike Fighter deployment time. So I'm not going to be a do as I say, not as I do. I'm telling you that you're going to get your ass handed to you. I'm getting my ass handed to me in a Boeing trade. Everybody understand that. Fox saying Brazil governor is ignoring Bolsonaro. That sounds like America. Christina, my aunt is infected in Washington and in the hospital for the second time. Oh man, unbelievable. All right, let's move. We got to get operational. I'm still sticking with this, guys. This is going to be a W, a bunch of W's. The worst of the sell-off isn't here yet. A lot of guys are pinning their hope on this 3-day in a row of rallies. At next Friday, what is it? Next week. So let me just click refresh. I didn't even come to this page yet this morning. I mean, look at this, folks. 282,000. 1.6 forecasted 3.2, and the market rallied. Why? Because Goldman and all the houses ran around last night like, oh, did you hear from Steve? Steve? Whatever. But Steve said it's 5. I heard 4.5. I heard 5.5. 3.2. Buy the market. This is how it works, folks. This is why retail traders get pissed. But let's look out to next week. When the state unemployment systems catch up and blah blah, Wednesday is going to be interesting because on Wednesday we get ADP, non-farm payroll, but Friday's the government number. We will be. How many times have I said in 10 years that the ADP number on Wednesdays, it's a jobs number for the ADP company. ADP is a private company, and it means nothing between Wednesday and Friday. All people care about is the government number. For the first time in 10 years, I'm going to say that's absolutely wrong, Wiz. Next week will be the first time in 10 years that I said the ADP number is going to be traded around. Okay. So, the worst of the selling, it really hasn't started. It's a disgrace. So I appreciate the emails or texts and shit like that saying, dude, Monday you said it would be Wednesday maybe, but you're betting Friday. I'm usually not that good, but it'll be Friday. It sounds like that they're going to sign it. And I think the president's also pushing for a signing on Friday. Why? Maybe it might even be a 3:59 p.m. press conference where he signs it, and then at 4:01 after the market closes, which he's done before, goes the national airspace is shut down. I think he's not going to do that. The airline dudes that I get good gouge from that don't wear uniforms anymore, they wear suits, which is their uniform. They're like, we're parking everything and we're shutting down for a couple months. The airlines of the United States of America, folks, are shutting down. Now let's get to the potential civil unrest. I texted my buddy. I'm like, dude, no offense. But he's like, allegedly, and he's like, I feel shit about it, but what am I going to do? I don't begrudge him. He's like, we're still guaranteed our pay. I'm like, oh my God. I'm furious with the president with the whole $50 million for the Kennedy Center. He last night, I, I elected this guy not to be who he is right now. And who is he right now? I guarantee you, when Trump saw $50 million for the Kennedy Center, he went ape shit. Pull that shit out. He caved. And last night, seeing him trying to defend $50 million for the Kennedy Center, it's freaking closed, doofus. Take the 50 million bucks and give it to, it's a disgrace to see him trying to defend. I know what he did. I'd love to go to the Kennedy Center. I love the arts. Huge love. Nobody does love in the arts bigger than me. Believe me. But I can't even get half of his sentences were him catching himself. But I can't even go. So, but I love to see Romeo and Juliet tonight. Love the arts. Great stuff. But you can't go. Why are you giving them money? The last time I checked, big opera houses usually are private and they have donors, rich donors who like to be pretentious and go in their nice cars and wear tuxedos. $50 million for the Kennedy Center. I'm predicting, folks, this is a Nancy Pelosi. We have to pass it to see what's in it. 114 or 1,100 pages. It should have been a postcard that says, what did you make last month? Fill in the blank. We're sending you a check for that. And in the fine print, if you lie about this, we're going to throw you in prison for 10 years. It ain't that hard. What did you make for the past 30 days? Warning in big letters underneath that. If you lie, we're going to find out and we'll throw you in prison. I have there are a lot of members here at the airlines who are on the back channel telling me, you know what, dude, it is bullshit, but I got to worry about my family. I'm with you, bro. If I was at an airline right now and I'm still going to be getting whatever my pay guarantee is for the month, mortgage, kids, dude, duh. Nobody's turning down free money, and I'm not saying that. What I'm warning, as worried about Top Gun Options members and training you how to trade, I'm telling you to project your thoughts forward in space and time about 30 days out. And how America is going to be reacting. I'm going to make a bad prediction here, and this is another one of those. Tamara, maybe you should keep track of these. Wiz said he wants to be wrong about this. I want to be wrong about this. If you watch the Options News Network, and one of my Facebook memories today was us going to Pogue Malone's, like the big burger and beer place across from the SIBO, to shoot the Options Cocktail. Talk about a gig that I had. I hosted a show called the Options Cocktail. Friday after the market closed, we went to one of the different trader bars around the Board of Trade, got loaded up with a couple traders, and we found out what was really going on in the markets. Wow, the Dow's up 940. Holy shit. Wow. Yeah, hopefully you're doing some good work with those. $9,800 on those calls right now. So here's the deal. Why am I rambling about this? Because in 2008, I said, let them burn. Bear Stearns Lehman have to go. I'm going to get on an AIG rant, guys. I know some of you have heard this before, but AIG, it's in my book, $187 billion bailout. Did you hear the math, man? $187 billion. It was an insurance company and reinsurance and reinsurance. Wiz, if we let that fail, the system would have went down. You're wrong. Well, it probably would have. The sun would have came up the next morning, and we would have figured it out. We are in this situation right now because we bailed out pieces of shit, like the guy who ran AIG at the time. Who was the skipper at the time? I rip them apart in my book. What am I getting at? You ready for the math, folks? And I know some of you who are new never heard this. $187 billion. You, me, every American taxpayer paid AIG. The government, to their credit, made $22 billion. That's fantastic. It is. What a nice return. How many of you went out to your mailbox and found a check since you were a shareholder for bailing out AIG? You don't have to answer in the chat box because the answer is none. That money went back into the United States Treasury. Herb Greenberg. You didn't see a dime. It went back into the Treasury. Why am I doing this rant, folks? Because there was a, it's still around, but it really, it was the pitchfork crowd with torches. Occupy Wall Street. Everybody remember that? I had a long call with a buddy last night who definitely shall remain nameless. He goes, Wiz, we are thrilled on Wall Street with what this bailout package is. If you don't think that Wall Street's going to do behind the scenes, you should, the shit that I hear, man. Wow, look at those airlines getting bailed out. I can't believe they're doing that with the American taxpayers' money. In the squadron, folks, we called it the junior officers law of thermodynamics. If the heat ain't on you, it's on somebody else. So my buddy's like, wait, you shitting me? Of course we're going to do that. Un-American, but it's Wall Street. On that issue, all right, here's where I want to bring this up. You guys know, because I got to go faster. Because you're smart, you guys know that the number one buyer of the S&P 500 for the past 2 years was who? It wasn't a Fed. It wasn't China. It's probably China right now. It was the S&P 500 share buybacks. Donald Trump, love him or hate him, changed tax policies. Apple, for instance, had like $50 billion sitting in, you ready for this? Ireland, away from U.S. greedy hands and taxes. Trump, bring that money home. You're good, dude. Apple, thank you, ka-chunk. Apple, share buybacks. Now, I'm hearing that anybody who takes money from Uncle Sammy can't buy back their shares. Ladies and gentlemen, this is another potential black swan event. The market did this when everybody was eating their own foot. What's going to happen when they can't buy back, excuse me, their own shares? I actually heard an analyst, I'm writing, there's notes all over the place. There was an analyst this morning that said, you know what? We're actually telling our clients to go where? Overseas to be a longer term investor. They are predicting that the S&P 500 is going to significantly over the next year underperform. Might even go, well, it's clearly going to go negative. I think what he meant, I'm reading my chicken scratch, is the S&P 500, folks, listen to me. Take this to your virtual cocktail party. It sucks because I want to tell people all this shit. They can't buy back their own shares. What the hell is that going to do for the stock price? And especially for the PE when there ain't no E. Price to earnings ratio. Earnings, 0, negative. Thank you. I'm glad. Hey, man, knowledge is power. Knowledge is how you trade. Costco employees are testing positive for the coronavirus, and their coworkers say managers aren't being transparent. Coronavirus spreads to at least 6 Amazon warehouses. So where is this disease, ladies and gentlemen? It's at the places we're all flocking to or getting packages from. I locked Susie down the other day. She's like, I'm going to make my last Costco run. I'm like, nope. We got enough ramen noodles to last a year. We're done. I mean, we're clearly stocked up. And like I said, I got my new Smithfield Armory Bearcat. I need another gun safe. But guys, Costco is sick. There's sick people. I just can't. Dow's up 900 points. And I'm going to familiarize many of you who are new with another wizism that you need to write down. The market only cares when it cares. The hell does that mean? I'll say it again. The market only cares when it cares. It doesn't care about $3.2 million jobs lost right now. I think the whisper number was actually right, folks. So everybody running around last night going, it's 4.5, it's 5. Oh my God, let me throw out 6. But if after I get done my second webinar this morning, if the market implodes 1,000 points, I guarantee you the idiots on CNBC are going, clearly it's the jobs and man, the market is going to care about this eventually. That's what I'm telling you is the other leg down. I drew this the other day. I said implosion, W's. I didn't say W's. I said volatile. Another leg down, level. This is going to happen. Unless, how do I spell that? CVF. Is that pharmacy? COVID fatigue. If we get COVID fatigue, this won't happen and we'll continue to W. If we get COVID fatigue. If we don't, and Governor Cuomo's like, oh my God, now we're using the Marriott downtown as a hospital. I'm seizing businesses and there's dead bodies stacked, which has happened in every other country. South Korea, not as bad. Japan, not as bad, manageable. But I got to find hold on, let me find the chart of, you have to see our current climb, guys. I don't disagree that the market will get COVID fatigue. As Gordon Gekko, I'm going to tell you that the market, all right, good, I get out of those calls. They just got filled. I am going to, let me go over the afterburner thread. It's in here somewhere. I got to show you the chart, man. Let me scroll up here. I got to find it. I'm stopping to take some time to do this. I don't want to do this freaking webinar in a little bit. Let me find it. Happy Easter, Grandma. I posted it, I think. I don't know where the hell I got it. There's good shit going on over here, guys. I strongly recommend, if you can, to get into this. Can I go back any further? Scroll. Yes. Hello. All right, well, it's small, but you get the point here. Guys, look at this. Men lie, numbers don't. Look at this. China, Germany, blah, 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 blah. The United States is in black. I got your attention yet? Spain's on lockdown. You go in your backyard, you get arrested. Italy, we're burning bodies. The army's taken over the northern part of the country. Spain, Italy, USA. Let's go party in Boca Raton on Lake Boca. Let's ask people to self-quarantine. Did you see Newt Gingrich, former Speaker of the House? He's been stuck in Italy for 2 months. He's literally, he's like, you've never seen anything like it. He's like, if you go outside, they arrest you and you get an $8,000 fine. $8,000. You're allowed out like one person from each household, like per week, to go to groceries, and everybody's like 100 feet away from each other. He's like, it's medieval. That's Newt Gingrich. This is the buy signal, one of them, when we do a China. And oh, by the way, I don't believe any of that. All right. Yeah, shoot me an email. I'll give you instructions on how to get into the Afterburner group. All right, I got to go. We got to move. 47,000 stores shutter across the United States as virtually all retailers stop paying rent. S&P's up 88 points. The market only cares when it cares. Another reason, guys, why I'm telling you, do not trade this. This is not for the faint of heart. I've never seen anything like this. You guys know that I used to. Last night we had a virtual mafia dinner every Wednesday night. Judges, chief of polices, restaurant owners, club owners, attorneys. We call it our mafia dinner every Wednesday night, man, out in Fort Lauderdale. We got on this thing last night and we were all joking. And then we all talked seriously. All the restaurant guys are like, I'm not fucking paying my rent. I can't. They're like, I paid my employees for like an extra week to really see what was going to happen. And now I'm like in the hole. I don't fault them, but at the end of the day, folks, I'm the financial guy sitting on the phone going, do you not know that the landlord was kind of counting on that money and he's got investors or employees? And folks, this is insanity. I feel like a Jim Cramer moment. Like, they know nothing. They don't. The market is trading right now. I'm not even looking at my other thread that's blowing up. The dudes that are used to be buy and hold. I said this yesterday, you haven't heard from Warren Buffett because Warren Buffett knows that this is a shitstorm that hasn't even started yet, guys. So if Warren Buffett ain't getting in here to nibble, you haven't. Warren Buffett used to be on CNBC all the time. You know why? Because who was it? Becky Quick's cousin worked for us at the Options News Network. He's got a little bit of a thing for the one girl, or actually, she went to CNN. Anyway, dude's a little creepy. I'll leave it at that. So uh, the fact that you've seen all the idiots on CNBC, I'm going to nibble here. I've nibbled here. I've nibbled here. They're completely out of money and at margin calls. I'm still nibbling. Oh, I'd be a buyer here. It's at the bottom. Warren Buffett and a guy like me who called this, the only other guy that I found to date that called this, allegedly, was Bill Ackman. And he was a month after me. When he did his famous "We're all going to die" last week, yeah, of course he was short, but now he's back in. He made $2.5 billion. We're not as big of a scale. Where's my? He did I just did the math this morning. We did 2.1 million. He has a B. We had an M. So that's pretty damn. I'm not Bill Ackman swinging around that money. Las Vegas, devastated by the 2008 economic crash struggles. I've seen pictures. Jeff is out there, like a car on the strip. I can't even. I can't even tell you. Wiz, the casinos stocks are up. Yeah, I got blown out of a couple of those trades too. Some puts that are going to go out worthless. Maybe. What are you talking about? Maybe, Wiz. How the hell do you know what's going to happen tomorrow? Again, I'm telling you. I can't tell you what to do. I'm telling you, when I put some puts on, even if my commit criteria changes, if my commit criteria change quickly and I can save a little bit of that max loss, maybe I'll eject from it. But 99.9% of the times, the reasons when I place some puts on, I set them and forget them. I don't manage puts, folks. I think we nailed it for a month and a half, pounded them into the dirt. One of the main reasons the casino stocks rallied recently was because what? We're hearing rumors that Macau might open. Oh, really? How many of you who lived in Macau, or how many people are going to be flying in from around the world to go gambling in Macau? Unless they put bayonets to people's heads and say you need to go into the casinos in Macau and gamble, it doesn't matter if the casinos are, quote, open. People in China ain't stupid. We showed a video early this week or whenever it was of people hanging out their windows as the vice premier went by. And they're like, he's lying. He's full of shit. It ain't over. Like, holy crap. They probably disappeared. All right. Probable but not impossible. Could Andrew Cuomo walk away with a broker convention with the Democratic nomination? I predicted that last week. Exactly. How are they going to get there? Are they going to canoe there? So here is my take. I have to. I'm going to say this again. Easy money in the bank, done. Trading. The market will care, folks. All the smart money I've talked to, first of all, almost most of them, their portfolios are down 50, 60%. They have to sit there. You want to talk about what happens on April 1st? And why my phone's been blowing up is because helping these hedge fund buddies out, because on March 31st, they're going to be sitting there in their office at home going, or in their grandma's house in Boca that they drove down 12 hours to go to. Hopefully that's fantastic. The one guy, I'm like, I try not to be, I could be one way with you guys, but these guys, I'm like, this guy's leaving New York City, which is a COVID hotspot, to come stay at his grandma's place in Boca Raton. You mean you're old, like really old grandma, and you're leaving a COVID hotspot? Could you be any more rude and irresponsible? Anyway, he's going to be sitting in his grandma's kitchen, billion-dollar fund manager. Dear investors, the first quarter, we laughed last week at EWZ when there was Brazilian hedge fund managers, billionaires, apologizing to thank God you're not in a hedge fund, apologizing to their clients. Why? We could not have foreseen this or protected the portfolios. About spit my coffee out on the screen. I'm like, we couldn't have protected the portfolios? That's because you're long only and you're ignorant. Do you know what a put option is? You're flying around Brazil in your jet and you don't know how you could have protected. Ladies and gentlemen, in the United States of America, the three largest assets that people own are what? A home, a portfolio, and a car. 2 out of 3 of those are mandated to have insurance. The third one, it can go to zero and you deserve it to because you're not insuring it. So that's my bully pulpit speech about puts that might be, quote, losing money. I rarely look at it as a put as, quote, lost money. I put it on for a reason. I thought the thing was going to implode. Now, when the Federal Reserve steps in and Uncle Sammy steps in to artificially say that things are great, I'm okay with that, man. Again, I never hopped out of my F-18 and said, what a waste that ejection seat was. I could have had an 800 extra pounds of gas. Stupid. Hey, Chief, take out the ejection seat for the next flight. Add 800 pounds of gas in there. I'm the best there is. That's how you die. New folks. Yeah, I'll show you where the videos are. Implosion. This, I'm telling you, COVID fatigue. If we get COVID fatigue, we will do this. If we don't get COVID fatigue, most likely next week, reality is going to set into the market. I will do my best to, I think we're going to do an afterburner webinar tomorrow. I have to look at my schedule. I'm supposed to be back-to-back calls since we don't have live trade briefs on Friday. Maybe for the afterburner folks, I'll try and get on a brief here. But I'm going to do my best for all Top Gun Options members to give you guys are smart enough. You should be able to feel, and I'm going to use the Governor Cuomo press conference about COVID fatigue and the flattening of the curve. The guy puts his hands up every day, his big, meaty Italian pasta hands. You can see him holding a bottle of Chianti. We have to flatten the curve. Or if we don't, and he's like, well, another 1,000 people died, and we have a new morgue open, and I have to steal another hotel to put dead bodies in. I don't know if we're going to get fatigue. This is not one of the most, not even 2008, not after 9/11 when I lost my job in the airlines. Have I ever seen anything like that? Finch. Well, so I briefed this, guys, and we talked about this in the spread lectures of Full Throttle. Remember, if you're getting blown out, for example, I had a bear call spread on Boeing. It blew through my short calls. What did I need to do? And I didn't do as I say, not as I do, because I'm doing 90,000 other things. Needed to close out the short calls. Take the loss on them. Why? Because the long calls up here are going to print money. I got emails from people that are like, dude, I did that on Boeing. I did what you said I should have done on Boeing. So there's a lot of people in this room who actually made a shit pot of money on a bad bear call spread. Does everybody understand that? If you don't, you haven't watched the training and you owe me 50 push-ups. That is how you manage a spread that goes away from you. Does everybody understand that? Member content, Full Throttle. One more time. Go to Boeing. And I'm telling you, I failed in this portfolio. No, it was where it was a weekly options portfolio. I'll tell you when I did wrong, man. I did wrong. I just haven't had time to freaking get in here and do this. You guys, and managing 5 portfolios, and the 6th one, which is my personal one, is not even, it sucks. Anyway, so here's what you need to do, or needed to do. Here's how you manage something that blows out, like a bear call spread, wherever it was. That's SPX. So if you have short calls, like just let me grab my marker. I sold these calls because I didn't think it was going to go above here, Wiz. Great. And I bought upside calls as a hedge in case it rips higher. The second it did that, guys, you have to self. I'm not sitting there, folks. This is why I'm teaching you. I can't tell you to do this, or you have to figure this out. You have to look at it at that moment and go, scratch your chin. This case, it was a no-brainer with Boeing. Now it's a momentum trade. You go back to your commit criteria and say, I was bearish on Boeing because it's going out of business, bankruptcy, blah, blah. The risk is it might get bailed out by the government, blah, blah, blah. Okay, those changed. And oh my God, look at the momentum. Add momentum on your checklist under commit criteria. This turned into a momentum trade. So once your short calls started getting kicked in the jimmy, you should have went out of the short calls and sat there. So close these and you could have held the upside long calls. And 3 or 4 people emailed me like, dude, thank God you covered that the other night. That's why I covered it the other night. Because you could still be holding on to the long calls. I mean, hell, I don't even know. This is all momentum right now. Boeing could be up another 90% tomorrow. And you're printing money, even though you initially, quote, lost money on those short calls. Yes, you got it. Guys, if you got in that Boeing trade and you didn't manage it like that, it's your fault. You haven't watched the spread training on how to manage a spread that runs away from you. I'm telling you, man, do not do what you don't know how to do. Do not shadow trade, man. Like I said, we made on those slides 2.1 million. Past couple days, it's down to 1.9. Oh, geez, only down 200 grand in the model portfolios. Well, if you're small, that it might be a big dip. Do not, I'm telling you, man, listen to me. Exactly. Well, a lot of people glad. Yeah. How much time do I have? 57 minutes. Joseph, you haven't watched it, obviously, then. Or Gabriel, I haven't seen that in the video. How do you close the short calls, Gabriel? I'm not answering these questions. All the answers to your questions are on this page, and I got 3 minutes left, and I'm not going to answer them. Folks, what part of day number 4 right now and 5 trade briefs, including solo Amazon, did you not listen to me when I said, do not do anything but watch these trading videos? I'm not going to tell you what to do with Boeing right now. You should have. You guys, the shadow traders are going to get blown out. I recommend you have to sit on your hands. If you're coming in here right now trying to make some quick money to make up for a portfolio that imploded, you're going to lose all of it. What am I not being clear about? The questions that I'm seeing prove to me that you haven't watched any of this stuff. So you do deserve to lose money. I'm not shitting you, man. I hate these moments. I hate sounding like a dick. I'm not. You're an idiot if you're trading and you don't know what you're doing. Do you understand that? It's ridiculous, man. Let me just run and jump into an F-18 because the guy next to me is in an F-18 and he kind of is doing this with his hands, and now I'm dead. Thank you. I have no idea folks, reality's left the building with Boeing. What do you not understand? This is momentum. You're going to tell me them shutting down plants because they have diseased workers, them having no orders on the books for the next year, and they have 737 Maxes that haven't flown in 7 months sitting in the desert because they kill people. Yay, Boeing. Do not trade something that doesn't make sense to you. If you do, you deserve to lose every penny. I'm telling you, man, do not do anything right now. If you're showing up trying to swing for the fences to make up for I got to go. If you got questions, put them in the Ready Room. This is a great forum. There's great stuff going on in the Ready Room, but I have to end on this, and I got to go get over to the other webinar here. Easy money, the easiest money I've ever made in my life. This is going to be me busting my ass. There's an inflection point right here. There's a decision point right there with this market. I don't know what's going to happen. My call sign's Wiz, not Nostradamus. I'm giving you my 2 cents. I think this is going to happen. Okay, especially based on the guys on the phone today that were like, they're getting ready to close out a lot of these positions from the past 3 days because they have to take that money before March 31st and go, I know we got hammered last quarter, but it's less hammered. Do you think they're going to go into April 1st with jobless claims and people defaulting on rent and mortgage companies? It's a shitstorm is coming, folks. Anybody who thinks this isn't all clear, please go burn your money on a table while you're drinking because it'll be more entertaining. You're going to get destroyed. If we get COVID fatigue and if the governor says, Forget about it. We flattened. Good luck, America. It's behind us. It doesn't matter if 100 million Americans die after that. The market's most likely going to do that. That's me as Gordon Gekko talking, as Wiz talking. That's heartbreaking. But I guarantee you, that's what's going to happen. New Orleans, 10,000 dead. New York, hey, we're out walking in Central Park. It's great. There's people back on the trading floor. People are eating each other in New Orleans. Nobody's going to care because it's the market. Understand? No, I wouldn't be doing the only thing I'd be doing right now, and I wouldn't be doing it if I were you, is kind of this SPX quick shots. We did like 2, 3, 4 trades yesterday, quick back and forth in the SPX, man. That's stealing. I don't like stealing. I don't like doing any of this, guys. I want to get back to TGO and normal. Hey, man, we got to trade on for 30 days out. I'll see you next week. Don't get used to this crap, man. I'm working way too hard. This is not supposed to be work, and this is work right now. All right, I got to go in 14 minutes. The market has no feelings, only greed. Fauci has warned of being prepared for a second round of COVID. I'm with you. So, Tamara, go. Great brief. All right, guys, please explain how do I decide if it's a momentum trade? Oh, man. All right, guys, I got to go. The full throttle training is where you need to live for the rest of the weekend. Afterburner traders, I'll see you after my next webinar. I'm going over to wherever it's called. I don't even know who I'm doing a webinar for. I got to start not going to this shit. And then maybe we'll do a webinar tomorrow for the Afterburner folks to talk about this momentum trading and how to trade it. I really don't want to do that, guys, to be honest with you, but I told you that I'm going to kind of throw over the fence everything I'm getting from the. I got to be honest with you, man. You're looking at the smart money. You're looking at the smart money. The smart money ain't that smart. Let me just go through these, see if there's anything good. No, and most of the shit's. It's great when I hear back stuff that I'm telling other people. So, all right, I got to go over and check into this webinar. Go to the Ready Room if you got questions, man. I'll try and get in here later in the day. But your fellow wingmen are doing great jobs, and market reaction to unemployment thread going on here. Coronavirus. Paul's back from exile. Think or swim questions. Unemployment report. Get in here and interact. And when I can get in here, I'll try. I got to go. Have a great rest of your day. I'll probably again this weekend do a Saturday vid for you all and a Sunday. And I'm telling you, do not get used to those. That's way too much work, but I'm trying my best to help you guys out. I'm trying my best. Okay. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge and God bless. It feels creepy to say have a great weekend. Try to. I mean, really, try and have a great weekend. Love you guys. Very thankful for you. Thank God for your health and your family. I'll see you guys later. We'll see you.